The doctors had spoken the words no parent ever wants to hear. 3 months and maybe less. In the grand hospital room, surrounded by the latest machines money could buy, the billionaire sat frozen. His only son, Adam, just 7 years old, lay in bed smiling faintly as though he didn't even realize how serious things were. His condition was rare, aggressive, and unstoppable. The best doctors, the best medicine, even entire research teams flown in overnight. None of it changed the fact that time was slipping away. But what shocked everyone wasn't just the diagnosis. It was Adam's reaction. He didn't cry. He didn't beg. Instead, he looked past his father, past the expensive flowers and gifts crowding his room, and whispered, "Where's my sister?" Now, most people didn't even know Adam had a sister. She wasn't the child of the billionaire's glamorous wife. She wasn't raised in luxury. She was from another side of the family, a poor girl who lived in a tiny rented apartment with her mother. She had nothing, no money, no toys, no status. But what she did have was love. And Adam wanted that more than anything else. That night, as the city lights sparkled across the billionaire's glass mansion, a small knock came at the door. It was her, his sister. She came not with doctors, not with cures, but with something far more powerful: hope. And in that moment, no one could have guessed that this poor little girl, with nothing but determination in her heart, was about to change the boy's final 3 months forever. Because sometimes miracles don't come from money, they come from love. The girl's name was Emily. Just 9 years old, she was older than Adam by 2 years. Unlike him, she didn't live in marble halls or sleep on silk sheets. Her world was one of cracked ceilings, second-hand clothes, and meals that sometimes weren't enough. Her mother worked double shifts as a waitress, often coming home exhausted but still smiling for her daughter. Emily had grown up quickly. She knew what it meant to go without, and she had learned that the most valuable things weren't bought. They were given freely, from the heart. That's why when she heard Adam was sick, she didn't hesitate. She borrowed a clean dress from a neighbor, held her mother's hand, and together they went to the mansion. Inside, the contrast was staggering. Glittering chandeliers, marble floors polished like mirrors, and servants who looked at Emily as if she didn't belong. For a moment, she wanted to turn back, but then she heard his voice. "Emily!" Adam shouted, his small arms stretching toward her. Her heart nearly broke. He was thinner than before, his face pale, but his eyes lit up the moment he saw her. Emily rushed forward and hugged him tightly, ignoring the uncomfortable glances from the billionaire's wife and the disapproving whispers of the staff. In that hug, Adam forgot the machines, the pain, and even the looming shadow of time. To him, his sister's presence was worth more than all the medicine in the world. The billionaire watched silently from the corner of the room. For years, he had built his empire on power, money, and influence. Yet now, watching his fragile son cling to a poor girl like she was his only lifeline, he began to wonder if he had been building the wrong kind of empire all along. That night, after everyone had left Adam's birthday dinner, Emily stayed behind in his room. The nurses wanted her to leave, but Adam begged, so they allowed her just a little more time. Adam's small hand gripped hers tightly. His voice was faint but filled with fear. "Emily, they say I only have 3 months. Is that true?" Her throat tightened. She was only 9, but she had learned not to lie about serious things. Instead, she leaned closer, brushing his forehead gently. "They might say that," she whispered, "but I promise you, we're going to make every single day count." Adam's tired eyes softened. "Every day?" "Yes," she said firmly. "We'll laugh, we'll play, and I'll bring you gifts even if I have nothing. I'll find something. I promise, Adam." The boy's lips curved into the faintest smile. "Then I'm not scared anymore." Emily's chest ached at his words. She wanted to cry, but she knew she couldn't. He needed her strength more than anything else. From the hallway, the billionaire stood silently, half hidden behind the doorframe. He had come to tell his son good night, but the words froze on his tongue. Instead, he listened. His fortune, stocks, real estate, endless possessions had never given his son comfort. Yet this poor girl with nothing but her heart had managed to give him peace. For the first time in years, guilt struck him. He had been busy chasing wealth while his son's time slipped away. As Emily tucked the blanket around Adam and kissed his forehead, she whispered once more, "You're not alone, Adam. I'll be here, always." And in that moment, the billionaire realized his son's survival might not depend on doctors alone, but on love, faith, and a girl who refused to give up. The next morning, Adam woke up to find Emily sitting by his bedside with a mischievous grin. In her hands, she held a small box wrapped in colorful paper. "What's this?" Adam asked, his eyes widening. "A gift," Emily said proudly. "I told you I'd bring you something every day." Adam frowned. "But you don't have money." Emily giggled and pushed the box toward him. "Not every gift needs money, silly. Open it." Inside the box was a folded piece of paper, decorated with crayons and glitter. When Adam opened it, he saw a drawing. Him and Emily sitting under a giant tree, laughing together. Above them, in shaky handwriting, were the words, "Best friends forever." Adam's face lit up. You made this for me?" Emily nodded, her eyes shining. "Whenever you feel scared or sad, just look at it and remember, you'll never be alone." For the first time in weeks, Adam laughed, a genuine, bubbling laugh that filled the room. The sound was so unexpected and joyful that the nurses outside peeked in, smiling. The billionaire entered quietly, still in disbelief. His son's laughter had become rare, almost forgotten. Yet here it was, brought back to life by a girl with crayons. Emily turned and looked at him with a shy smile. "See, he doesn't need expensive things, just love." The billionaire's chest tightened. He had built empires, but at that moment he realized he had failed to give his son the simplest gift: joy. Adam hugged the drawing close to his chest, whispering, "Thank you, Emily, this is the best gift ever." And from that day on, Emily made it her mission to keep her promise. One gift, one smile, one moment of hope at a time. 2 days later, Adam was sitting up in bed, staring out the window. His body was weak, but his spirit seemed lighter since Emily's first gift. That's when she rushed in, holding something behind her back. Her face glowed with excitement. "Close your eyes," she ordered. Adam groaned playfully. "Another gift?" "Of course, I promised, remember? Now no peeking." Adam obeyed, squeezing his eyes shut. Emily gently placed something in his hands. When he opened them, he gasped. It was a small bird made entirely out of folded paper. "It's origami," Emily said proudly. "I learned how to make it from YouTube at the library." Adam turned the delicate paper bird in his fingers, marveling at it. "It looks like it could fly," Emily nodded eagerly. "That's the point!" Whenever you feel trapped in this hospital room, just look at it and imagine flying away, free, strong, and healthy again. Adam's lips trembled. His voice cracked. "Emily, this makes me feel hopeful." From the corner, the billionaire watched silently. He had been planning to surprise his son with an expensive VR headset, but suddenly it felt meaningless compared to a paper bird. This girl with nothing but creativity had given his son wings. Adam clutched the origami tightly. "This is better than anything money could buy," Emily smiled. "Good, because tomorrow I've got an even better surprise." The billionaire finally stepped forward, his voice low. "Emily, may I ask, why are you doing all this?" She looked at him with wide, honest eyes. "Because Adam's my friend, and friends don't give up on each other." For the first time in years, the billionaire felt tears burn his eyes. He realized this little girl was teaching him lessons that his billions never had. By the end of the week, Adam's room looked brighter. His laughter echoed more often, and the nurses whispered about how his spirit seemed to be coming alive again, all thanks to Emily. On Friday afternoon, she appeared again, carrying something carefully wrapped in an old scarf. Adam sat up eagerly, his eyes sparkling. "What is it this time?" he asked. Emily carefully unwrapped the scarf, revealing a small glass jar. Inside, it glowed faintly with tiny fireflies she had caught outside the hospital garden. Adam gasped, pressing his face closer. It's like magic." Emily grinned. They're your nightlights. So when you're scared or lonely, you'll never be in the dark. Adam clutched the jar like treasure. Emily, you make everything feel less scary. From the doorway, the billionaire stepped in, his voice unsteady. Emily, how did you even think of this? She shrugged, simple as ever. Because when I was little, I hated the dark too. My mom used to tell me, even the smallest light can push away the biggest darkness. The billionaire froze at her words. That sentence pierced him deeper than he expected. For years, he had fought Adam's illness with money, power, and control. Yet it was this child, this poor girl, who understood the cure his son needed most: light, hope, and love. Adam hugged the jar close, smiling wider than his father had seen in months. Dad, look. It's better than all the gifts I've ever gotten. The billionaire's throat tightened. He knelt beside his son's bed, placing a trembling hand over Adam's. For the first time, he admitted softly, Emily, you've given him what I couldn't. The room fell silent, but the glow of the fireflies filled the space with something stronger than words. Faith that maybe, just maybe, miracles were possible. That night, after Emily left, the billionaire sat in the dim hospital corridor, his head in his hands. For years, he had believed that the cure to every problem was money. If Adam was sick, he would pay for the best doctors. If Adam was sad, he would buy him toys, gadgets, and trips. But none of it had worked. Then came Emily with nothing but crayons, paper, and fireflies. And suddenly Adam was smiling again. The billionaire stared at the jar of fireflies glowing softly on the bedside table. His heart clenched. She has done more for my son in 1 week than I have done his whole life. The next morning he called his assistant. Find everything you can about that girl, Emily, he ordered. By noon, the report was on his desk. Emily lived with her single mother, who worked long hours cleaning offices. They barely had enough money for rent, and Emily often skipped meals to help her mom. Yet she still spent every day bringing light to his son. The billionaire felt shame burn through him. He had ignored people like Emily his whole life, dismissing them as invisible. But now he realized the greatest treasure he had ever found wasn't in his boardrooms, but in that little girl's heart. That evening, when Emily arrived, Adam squealed with joy. Emily, what's today's gift? Emily pulled out a tiny notebook. This one's special. Every page is blank, but each day will write one happy memory in it. So even if things get scary, you'll always have proof that good days are real. The billionaire's chest tightened again. As Adam flipped eagerly through the empty pages, the man silently made a vow. Emily has given my son hope. Now I will give her the world she deserves. That night, after Emily kissed Adam goodbye and skipped down the hallway, the billionaire stayed behind. He watched her disappear into the shadows, clutching her worn backpack, and his chest ached. He turned to his assistant. I want you to arrange something quietly. What do you have in mind, sir? The billionaire's eyes hardened with determination. Emily and her mother. They deserve better. Find out what debts they have, what struggles they're facing. I don't want them to ever worry about rent or food again. Not while I'm alive. The assistant nodded, already jotting down notes. But the billionaire wasn't done. And more than that, Emily has a gift. She sees the world differently, through kindness, not money. I want her in the best school, with the best opportunities. She deserves the chance to become whatever she dreams of being. For the first time in years, the billionaire felt a flicker of warmth in his chest, a sense of purpose that had nothing to do with profits or power. The next day, he watched Emily walk into Adam's room with another surprise, a string of handmade friendship bracelets. One for you, one for me, she explained. That way, no matter what happens, we're always connected. Adam slipped his bracelet on, grinning. Now we're official best friends. The billionaire swallowed hard, touched deeper than he could express. When Emily wasn't looking, he pulled out his phone and texted his assistant. Make it happen. Everything. For her and her mom. For the first time, the billionaire wasn't just thinking about saving his son. He was thinking about saving the girl who had already saved them both. A week later, Emily arrived at the hospital carrying a shoebox. She placed it on Adam's lap with a proud smile. "What is it this time?" Adam asked, already grinning. Emily lifted the lid, revealing dozens of folded notes. Each was written on scraps of paper, napkins, notebook corners, even receipts. Adam tilted his head. "What are these?" "Wishes," Emily said softly. "Every time I thought of something good for you, something I hoped for your future, I wrote it down. So whenever you're scared, you can open one and read a wish made just for you." Adam's eyes shimmered with tears. He pulled out a note and read, "I wish Adam grows strong enough to run again." Another said, "I wish Adam never feels alone." The boy hugged the box tightly. This is the best gift yet." Emily's eyes sparkled, but she didn't notice the billionaire standing in the doorway. His hand pressed against the frame. That evening, as Emily prepared to leave, he stopped her in the hallway. "Emily," he said gently, "I need to talk to your mother. Could you bring her tomorrow?" Her eyes widened nervously. "Is something wrong?" The billionaire shook his head. "No, something very right." The next day, Emily's mother arrived, her uniform still smelling faintly of cleaning supplies. She looked nervous, unsure why a billionaire wanted to see her. But when he spoke, his voice carried a weight of sincerity she had never heard before. "Your daughter saved my son," he said firmly. "And now I want to return the gift, not with words, but with a future." Both Emily and her mother froze, hearts pounding. Neither of them yet knew the depth of the surprise waiting for them.